one, cutting my mic.
All right, well, welcome to the X Talks podcast. We have a very special guest here today, Stanley. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. It's good to have you here.
Yeah.
Mate, you run something called the Attention Seeker.
I do.
Some of you will be very familiar with the Attention Seeker.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very bold name, man.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean for you? What is the Attention Seeker?
Yeah, I think like when we came up with the name, we came up with like 3 or 4 variations. We always knew attention needed to be in it because we always understood that that was what the game is that we're playing, helping people get attention. And so what does the attention mean? It's just like, it is really just the definition of attention. It's just literally like the more people who know us or know about us and our customers, the better we'll succeed in business. So that was like my whole thing. Just, I don't need to worry about being super targeted in my messaging. I just need to go as broad as possible, and eventually I'll find the people who resonate, and eventually that'll happen. And so I'll just go for attention. And it's like kind of counterintuitive to a lot of marketers. A lot of marketers very like niche down, go after a certain person, say a certain thing. And I get it, and it makes sense. But for us, it's just like, how much attention can we get? And then obviously Seeker, when we put those names together, we put them out to friends and family. Like, what name do you all want to vote for? Yeah. And they all voted for Attention Seeker. And I realized later on, someone told me it's just because it's pattern recognition. All the rest were like made up terms, but the Attention Seeker is a known quantity for people.
Yeah. And you kind of started that process before you even, I remember actually that was like 6 months prior. You were trying to build a bit of a.
Oh, I had like 1,500 followers on LinkedIn when I called myself the Attention Seeker.
Yeah.
So it was like early on days, I just knew what I was trying to do. And to be honest, I did it as a little bit of a mistake, because I was like, it's kind of funny. And anyone who knew me prior to this world, I'm actually like naturally very introverted. And
really?
Yeah, like really.
That's
like,
interesting.
Like you'll see that like, if you ever watch, if someone's spying on me, they'd see me do stuff like this. And I've done a webinar before this, and now I'm doing this. Yeah. And then I got a coffee with someone afterwards. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be like absolutely exhausted from doing all this social activity. But it's just part of my job now. And so when people knew me before this world, when I didn't have to do that, so I used to run hotels for a living. I didn't really need to do this because I had salespeople who do the sales, or I had people who looked after stuff, right? So I was just the leader of my little team. And so people who like saw me do this are like, who is this guy? Like, that's obviously a piss take. Like, he's not that guy whatsoever. Yeah. And then after a few years, I just like kind of became that guy that people were like, no, he literally is an attention seeker. We can't get away from him.
Yeah, man. I know. Early days, you were popping up on my LinkedIn feed a lot. Yeah. It's pretty crammed now. Obviously, I've been trying to, replicate some of the own attention. Modeling myself. And, I think it was funny because our business sort of started around the same time yours did, and I think like we saw similar trajectories. I think like we saw a lot of success out of marketing, and it's been interesting looking at your journey because a lot of the things you say I relate to. You know, it's like these cash flow things and all the bullshit that happens behind the scenes, right? Yeah. But hats off to you, man, because I think there's so many people that don't want to like make that step, right? You said like, people might have like thought like, who is this guy? But I guess like blocking out that noise is probably quite crucial to getting to where you are today.
Yeah, it's interesting, when you say blocking out that noise. I think I was just so delusional and naive and arrogant all together that I just was like, I don't really care what you have to think. Like, I really didn't. Like, people would ask me that question all the time, and I think it was because I was so dead set on making this work because I had convinced my wife to move to New Zealand. She's Australian. Live our beautiful apartment and our 6-figure jobs. We had a great life in Australia, in Melbourne as well. And go, let's go to Auckland and do this thing.
Going the other way to everyone else.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so she like gave me the opportunity. So I just never once thought in the early years until people started asking me, like, how do you do this? How do you just post and like no one don't care? And I was like, I literally don't care about them. All I care about is, am I doing what I need to do to prove to my wife I'm trying my hardest? And that's kind of what just drove me.
Wow, cool. Yeah. Did you find that was different in the marketing sense than it was in other areas of your life? like that not caring what people think?
Yeah, I've always been someone who doesn't care too much of what others think. I'm one of 4 brothers, and I'm like the second youngest. So I'm like a proper middle child too. Whereas like the other middle child in my family, Ben, he's like the black sheep of the family. So he has his thing. I literally was just like the forgotten kid. Yeah. And I'm one of 4 boys. We're super competitive as brothers, as you can imagine. And so I just like I was humbled my whole life. Like my brothers are 6 and 9 years older than me, and my little brother was like the favorite child. He's the baby of the family. So like I was humbled my whole life, and like so I never really expected anything of anyone anyway. And so like I was like, anything you do, my brothers have done way worse. Like, so bring your best.
Yeah.
I love my brothers a bit, but they will smash me.
Really? Yeah. That's funny. I mean, I'm the same position as you. I've got 3 siblings. Same position. So yeah.
You know what it feels like.
I know what it feels like. Yeah. But I've only got 1 brother, so that's like that's always a head to head.
Yeah.
You whip out a ball game, man.
Oh no, that's it, right?
My brother's like far more intelligent than me, but I'm like, I think I'm smarter than him. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, street smart.
Street smart. Yeah. So always,
I love that.
A good tension. So, one thing I wanted to like bring up was, I guess like following on from the attention thing. Yeah. In our industry, like in our automation, manufacturing, these businesses are very corporate, right? Yeah. Our world is always like, we have like these big companies that we're competing against. They have these old corporate ways of, doing advertising and marketing. And we found a lot of success through probably a similar, journey of like just trying to grab attention, like trying to, get attention from people that, are looking at other places like social media. LinkedIn has been pretty powerful for us. But do you feel like that is where those industries will go to attention, that attention world? Do you think like it's a mix that there's still going to be that?
Yeah. Mate, then they're not going to. Yeah. Like you got because I know your journey as well, and like the way that you guys approach things, you're light years ahead of them. They won't change. Like these big old companies won't change. Like fortunately for them, some of them don't have to. They've just got such market power, market penetration that like their marketing won't need to change. They might get disrupted if their products don't change and their service doesn't change. But actually they've just got so much weight that like what they're doing now is fine. Like who watches Coke on Instagram? Have you ever seen a video from Coke on it? No,
maybe an ad.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not even
an ad. No,
I would be surprised you've seen an ad. I've never seen an ad.
No, maybe not.
Like, you might have seen some like UGC stuff or like influencer stuff potentially, because there's a lot of stuff around like Coke Zero. Have done a few campaigns in Diet Coke, but you barely watch them on there. Right. But they're not going to lose market share anytime soon. Like just because they're not doing all the things that are like Poppy or like all these small like new consumer brands that are coming out in the soda space who are like dominating social and stealing market share. Coke doesn't have to do that. They could. They'd come in and clean up, but they don't have to. They've just got so much weight. So in your world, it's the same thing. These big guys don't have to do it. It would be good if they did. Like they'd do even better. But that's what I found in my world going through this is that I had to realize there's so many things that business owners have to do. How do we convince them to do different parts of marketing? My advice is really like, you guys are a great example. When you're like a new entrant or a challenger or someone trying to really rapidly grow, when you decide that that's what I want, like a double-digit % growth plan or more, that's when attention, like first style approach of marketing, like really comes into play, because you can get like an outsized return. But if you're like a big corporate who like moves slow and you do 2% growth over the year, like you're probably having a pretty good year. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to convince them otherwise. Where we see a lot of success in the big old businesses are the ones who have, they might be a big old corporate, but they've got a reinvigorated leadership team, maybe a new CEO or new CMO who's come in, and they're very ambitious for their own career. So they'll take charge and do something. But actually like, as much as I'd love all these big corporates to do more because there's more business in the world, I just don't think they'll change. But it's a good thing for the people who do, because there's opportunity.
It's opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Do you so you work with some of these big companies?
Yeah.
Do you try and, I guess, push them into there, or,
Typically the ones we've worked with, they have had like a change of leadership, or they've got a leadership team who acts as an evangelist for us inside the business,
Okay.
where they're the ones who are like, no, we need to do this, we want to push.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you can tell like that person, although they know it's right for the company, they also know it's really right for their career as well. They're just that type of person. Like they're going to do their best at all times. So they'll drive it. And typically the company's a challenger brand to the main incumbent. Like we don't work currently with any big, large organization who is the dominant one in their industry. And typically at that point, when you're the dominant one in the industry, you're in a more, like at that level, you're at like a protectionist mindset. You're trying to protect yourself from things and try not to lose business.
Yep.
Whereas like the challengers are trying to gain market share. So they're always trying to do things that are somewhat like risky, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you think part of it is they don't understand the attention economy and what
It's
that
just
can mean
a
to them?
risk. It's a risk versus reward thing. Because like they don't understand it.
What do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean by risk versus reward?
So like, okay, there's a couple of risks by doing social. One of the risks is spending money.
Okay.
That's a legitimate risk. If you're a big organization, like, you know, like when you say big corporate-y organizations, I'm thinking stuff that like got a lot of moving parts, probably quite sizable revenue. For them to do social right, it's actually going to probably cost them quite a bit of money because there's a certain brand image they're going to have to maintain. They can't be scrappy like we can be scrappy. So it's going to be quite a significant investment, right? Like some of these big companies are spending anywhere from like $500,000 to $700,000 a year to run a social campaign, like always on social campaign. That's a lot of money for anyone, for any business, right? To invest that sort of money, because they could also do that and put it into TV ads or billboards or whatever, which they've tried and tested and they know and they've seen it. Whether or not it works for them is a different thing, but they've tried and tested and they know what they're going to get. It's a known outcome. So they could do social. And nothing happens as well. They could spend $700,000 and every post gets 200 views. And they're like, well, what was that for? Like, I should have just put a billboard up. I still would. It would have been better. And that's true, actually. So there's a risk of it not working because social media. There's very few companies do what we do on social media at an organic level. Most of them are like a paid advertising perspective. And so in that instance, if you're going to do an organic approach, like what we're talking about, this attention first sort of approach, it's quite risky because you are putting all your bets on that you can outsmart the algorithm and beat it and like get your content to see people. So there's a known quantity there. What if it doesn't work? Well, you spend all this money and it doesn't get what you want and the desired outcome. And there's also some reputation risk, right, as well, where people are like, actually, you're out here acting like a fool on dancing on TikTok or something, you know, which is you don't have to do. There's lots of ways of making content. I mean, podcasts are a great example, right?
I love this conversation, man, about, you know, that exact thing. Like I have this constantly, like, are we doing, you know, more damage than good? What like, how do you approach that? Well, with you know, corporate businesses that feel like, you know, their branding's too good to go outside the.
I think it's I think it has a place. Like, I think that like if you're, I don't know, Loro Piana, right? Super high end merino wool clothing line, right? They sell a coat for like $15,000, right? If you're them, you're probably not going to do some like really crappy sort of stuff. Most people don't even know who Loro Piana are. Like you only know, like how many people can afford a $15,000 coat, right? Or like they have scarves for like $1,500. Wow. Like why would, or even more than that actually? Like why would you? Most people can't afford that. So you don't actually need mass awareness. It's actually their whole brand is to be exclusive. Like if you don't know who we are, don't ask. Like you don't need to know. You probably can't afford us. So in that instance, like it's a branding thing, right? So when you think about these big corporates, do they really need that level of brand as well? But I think the question actually should be, what type of content can exist on social media? Because it isn't just silly stuff. It's not just humor. It's not just dancing. It's not just like hot girls taking their clothes off. You know, it's not that sort of stuff that people think of. You know, like we do a series for a not-for-profit in Tamaki called Tamaki Regeneration Company. It's a shared ownership program. And they have a program called Own It. And it's about how they help the locals, instead of letting their whole Tamaki region get gentrified, they help get them to buy their own homes, right? So that, because they're beautiful, like location down on Tamaki, like it's right on the water and all this stuff. How do they keep these communities who've been there for 40 years, like, buy their own homes instead of just renting? It's a cool program, really good, not for profit. we're not going to dance on TikTok doing this, right? That's a real sensitive topic. It's a really big conversation.
Yeah.
So actually we do these like really thoughtful conversations where we have like, we realize that Pacifica men are quite often the blocker in this transaction happening.
Okay.
As they age out, they start thinking that they don't deserve it. There's like a mental block that they have. And so what we did is we got these men to speak to their sons, and we had this, and they have a dialogue between them, each other, and we had the sons like ask questions about like, essentially like what was the last thing you ever dreamed for, and things like that, to get these men to go
like real deep.
Oh, yeah, real deep, and like crying and all sorts of stuff. And it gets real deep real fast. But they've gone off. Like they do about 5-6 million views a month. But it's very tied to their brand. And that's short form video, social media. That's on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Where people are like crying almost, right? Which now those are two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So you can land in the middle too. Like you can do other things that are good. You don't have to be dancing on TikTok. So if your brand reputation is something you're worried about, just tell your creative team, well, just do it properly. Like, just don't be useless, and like find a solution that works for your brand.
Yeah. Go deep into something else.
Like something actually, I don't know if I'll get called out for saying this, but I don't know if you've seen the McDonald's campaign at the moment, the mullet cheeseburger.
Yes, I have.
Like
yeah.
It's shocking. I mean, they might improve it. I'm hoping that they're learning from it.
Yeah.
I think they will. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's kind of shocking. It's kind of bad. It's like getting really no engagement or nothing.
Yeah.
And that's like a company like McDonald's trying to do something funny, but then it not landing as well. So that's the point of reputation risk.
Yeah,
Lots of us in the industry are all sharing these videos going, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like our team's going, wait, are you serious? Like someone would have been paid 100 grand, 200 grand for this. This is shocking. And we think they'll learn from it, and that's fine. I think the team behind it will probably figure it out. But I guess my point is that's part of the risk. That a brand like McDonald's is becoming a laughing stock. And that's happened just 3 weeks ago with McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reputation risk that can happen.
Yeah. Do you think, like, even though they've done it that way, they've got people talking about the thing that people think they're doing wrong? Is that
good marketing? Like all publicity is good publicity? I think so. I think in the general sense of it, all publicity is good publicity. There's a president in one of the countries right now that he got in because all publicity is good publicity.
Right.
So like it can work.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like in terms of for small businesses, it's a little bit different, I'd say, for the smaller companies because when it's that large and you're that convenient and that easy, like McDonald's is a good example because like I don't buy McDonald's because it's good. I buy it just because it's there. It's McDonald's. I know what it is. I know what I'm going to get. It's the best of the worst, right?
Yeah.
I know what it is. I love it every time I eat it, and I hate it as soon as I finished. But I buy it because it's there and it's convenient. So I'm always going to keep buying it. I'm not going to not buy it because the CEO looked like an idiot. But there are like in your world where actually this one customer decides I'm not going to work with you anymore, and that's $500,000. Like that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Me not buying a $14 combo,
right?
Who cares? And like if you can drive people en masse out of a business, but that's not going to happen from social probably too much unless you do something really like terrible.
Yeah.
But I do think that like it doesn't help your brand. Like it hasn't helped McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't think it's helped it. I don't think it necessarily super hurt it, but it like I guess for your industry, it probably made that reference point's probably more important because in service businesses, every client is so significant.
Yeah.
You know, like in B2B, it's such a different world.
Yeah, because it's like for us, it's a big ticket item. Yeah. It's a big relationship that we have with that customer. Everything we do online is like, you know, there's going to be that feeling and that conversation that translates into that relationship.
It's a reflection of them too, because you're a partner of theirs. And so you're like, well, you're a reflection of us out in the marketplace, actually. So if we tell everyone we work with you and everyone else thinks you're an idiot, then everyone thinks we're an idiot. Yeah. So there is that. I get it. That is a thing. We have that. We have clients who won't work with us. Really? Because we're too chaotic. Like, and we know that. And then, but the people who do work with us are like, no, we love that. That's why we want to work with you.
So you just play into it.
Yeah, we have to. In my world, I figure that I can't. I'm never going to get the whole market. Like I won't even get 1% of the market, right? Yeah. There's 800,000 businesses in New Zealand. I'm not going to get 8,000 clients in New Zealand. That's never going to happen. No, I don't think any of them do. Like I don't think any. Like if probably hardly anyone does. And so I then realize, well, if I'm not even going to get 1%, I'm only ever going to have like 50 to 100 clients or whatever in the service business. Then I don't need them all to like me. Yeah.
It's interesting because like if I see the clients you work with and what you do, some of it's very different to what you do on your own socials, right? And so like it's just this perception thing. that I guess the dad and something was a good example,
exactly.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
What about so AI? I mean, that's kind
Yeah.
of, that space is moving really fast. But like, how do you specifically feel about AI and content creation at the moment?
So we don't use a lot of it in content creation. We use a lot of it for planning and for administration and all the work in between. We actually use lots of it.
I see
Yeah.
you're killing it at the
Yeah.
moment with all your AI
Yeah,
stuff.
we love AI. Our AI is called Kevin, and we love Kevin.
Kevin.
He's amazing. But the I think the where people get in trouble with using AI for content is when they don't actually know how to make content, and so they don't actually know how to use AI to make the content good.
Yep.
Can AI make good content? 100%. I watched this guy on Instagram who does nature documentaries of Pokemon with like David Attenborough voiceovers.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. Like he's got like 1.8 million followers. It's all AI
Really?
generated content.
That's kind of right on trend at the moment too, right?
But the thing is, it's like he knows how to make content. He's just using AI to do it.
Wow.
But he knows how to make it. There's no way. His stories are amazing, the way he's done it, the imagery and everything he's done. He's just got a tool that's able to make his AI content. I think where a lot of clients, or customers I should say, or just people in general, actually businesses is probably the word I was looking for, they're getting themselves into trouble because they're just like blanketly putting out AI content and just doing it and just like, hey, write me a post about such and such and just put it on LinkedIn. And I did an experiment in December. I don't know if you remember, and I put it out, but I was like, for the whole of December, I put out 2 posts a week, every day. 2 posts a day, every day, and I had it. And the whole strategy was run by Claude. I did none of it. Like I was just like, you figure out, see if you can. Like I want to grow on LinkedIn. I want you to go and analyze a whole bunch of stuff and figure out what to do, and then just do it. I'll just let you go.
Yeah.
And so he like put the challenge out there of getting like, I'm going to get to 1 million followers. He did all these things. He made this whole strategy up. Started posting them all, right? And I just let him. And I did like 6 posts in the month of my own.
Yeah.
Where I had to talk about some stuff, so I wrote them. And the difference in the difference in his, like the Claude's engagement and views was a 50% drop on my averages and on the posts of that month, but also my average over the whole year. So he did 50% worse than what I would do if I did it myself. You could argue that he did double the amount of posts, so then he counted for that on his own. But actually, like, you saw a decline in engagement because people go, man, this stuff's crap that's coming out. So that was like, I was testing it to see what if he could do it. Like, imagine if he did. Imagine if it was 200%. I'd be like, all right, I'll never touch it again. Like, good on it, right? But then what I also realized is I said, like, this is what a lot of small businesses will do. They'll just let it take control. They won't know how to get it to make the content, and then it won't work. In context as well, those 6 posts that I put out, I also got my Claude to write them based on my direction. And they performed really well. They're some of my best performing posts I had all year as well. So if you use Claude to help you direct and write, if you direct it and get it to create content for you, it can do it. But you need to know what you need to create. And so because I know how to make content, I was able to get it the right way, to craft the thing I was trying to craft for it. So when it comes to AI content, I don't think it's like I don't think it's right for most people. It'll be like, I heard there's Adobe Premiere out now, so you're a videographer now? It's like, no, just because there's a tool that can edit videos doesn't mean I make videos. Just because there's a tool that can write you LinkedIn posts doesn't mean you're going to use it. Like, if you don't know how to do it, don't do it.
That's crazy, eh? I think with our company, we've sort of explored like trying to create content using AI, and but like, I guess, you know, it's generating some of the AI generation video. But it's similar. It's a similar thing, right? You don't get that same engagement. I think people are starting to get a little bit like maybe annoyed or turn off a little bit with some of the AI stuff. So
it just doesn't have like. If you don't direct it well enough, there's no soul in it. You can tell. There's no real story in it. It doesn't really understand the patterns well. You know? I think with you, like, you at least understand marketing well and how to tell a story and things, so you could probably direct it quite well. Most people aren't you. You know, most business owners are pretty terrible when it comes to that sort of stuff. It's not their world, like, of course. Like, why would they do it? So you see a lot of it just being kind of junk as that AI slop comes out. But like, my advice would be instead, like, if I was actually an automation business, if I was a business in this world, in manufacturing and everything, I'd be taking AI and working out the 80% of my business just the same way that automation business, like you do it for manufacturing, are we doing it for the human work? How much of this admin doesn't need to be done by us? Does this reduce headcount? Does this save us money? Does it give us opportunity to make more money now because we've got time to create new products or services that we can sell? Take that money and reinvest it in people who can make content, right? In a marketing team, if that's what you really want to do. You know, like over the last 18 months, we have a pretty young team, so we often have quite a high turnover of staff over a year because they go off traveling and get new jobs and whatever. And we decided about 18 months ago to not rehire unless it was absolutely necessary. And we would just see what AI can do, and would just sort of disperse the other parts of that person's job to other people. So we were 40 people at that point. Now we're 18. Same revenues, doing the same stuff.
Wow.
And we're way more efficient.
Wow, that's crazy.
We got less problems going on.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not because our team were useless. Our team were awesome.
Yeah.
We've always had an awesome team. It's just that like humans make mistakes and they're slow and they have to decide like
they're emotional. You have to deal with lots of different things.
So that there is like we just in that our wage bill's down 1.2 million a year.
Yeah, that's an interesting parallel to a lot of the clients we work with because they are warehouses. Warehouses have a high turnover of staff. And so when we're putting a system in, like headcount's always part of the conversation, right? We're not like, oh, cool, we're going to get rid of 7 people because within a year, those 7 people are gone anyway. So like during the process of, a 12-month installation of an automated system, there's no problems for them. But you find that when they go into the new automated system, they've got people that are far more engaged because they've got this automated system and they, rather than walking through aisles and doing picking, they now feel like somewhat of an automated operator, and they've got their station and they've got a heater, they've got a nice little mat, it's their like little workstation. And
they're probably making a little bit more executive decisions at that point, right? Rather than like, oh, I have to walk down the aisle. Like they're actually making executive decisions, which is more fulfilling.
Everything's more visual. We do a lot of like gamification between the operators. So like you can sort of see down the line. There's 2 or 3 of them that way and a few that way. They're all picking, and so we do some things to gamify that for them as well. So it's quite interesting that you talk about that in your team because it's very...
It's funny that you say that. We me and Connor and our team have been building stuff out, and we want a visual way of showing like the workload and stuff like that, and but we're like, things don't have to look now with Claude. They don't have to look the way everyone's used to. So we started mapping out like a Pokemon map of all the different little shops in it and little sprites in it that are like representative of us and our clients. And like the idea was that it would live on the big TV at all times and it'd be live dashboard. And say it's like the production house is one of the shops and it's like where videos get edited. And if there's a big queue out the door, that means, that guy's busy, and we can all see it's in the middle of the office.
No way.
When you look down the mezzanine, there's that TV. It'll be there.
It's right there.
And so it's what we want to do. We want to turn it on because we thought like this gamification type of thing. It's like you can kind of see like straight away who's busy and who's not.
Wow, that's
and who's
so
doing
cool.
what they're doing. But there's like different ways of showing this sort of stuff now, which I thought was quite cool. But it kind of reminds me of you saying that this gamification piece. Like, how do you make it like not just fun, but like, because it's not really fun, it's still work at the end of the day, but just like access to information really quickly and how as colleagues you can see where everyone's up to support each other. And I think when you're bogged down in admin, you've got heaps of tasks to do, your head's so down you can't look up and see where your mates are and where everyone else is. You're too busy trying to do your own shit. So ideally, like, how do we get people to lift their head up and look around? And like you said, like, you've got all this nice workstation, but you're actually making these bigger executive decisions. You can talk to people more. You can solve bigger problems now because you're not worried about the details.
Yeah, one of my co-founders, he always puts like in the hand scanners, you scan the items. You're doing this like, thousands of times a day. He would put like a little Star Wars noise in it every 50 scans or something. Just like, it's something that, it's like they get excited by it, right?
That's so good. I love that so much.
50 scans and like, you do these things to try and engage people. And I guess what's been really interesting for us, because we get a lot of like feedback, negative feedback about automation in general, right? And often that's more of an understanding thing because people don't realize like in warehousing that it's actually a real struggle to get staff and to keep them there. And so, we have a lot of challenges, like I guess, going down those tunnels of people about how, this automation's actually here to help. Like, I think a lot of roles and jobs are going to move into using AI and using robotics as opposed to, losing their jobs because of it.
Yeah, I agree. We've been talking about that recently. Like, there's a YouTube channel called Economics Explained, and he did a video recently talking about the idea that I think it was MIT or someone was like quantifying like the value of AI workers and what they do and whatever. Anyway, the story is that the roles aren't disappearing, they're changing, and the tasks are what getting taken off you. And then actually, if you map out a job, there's probably like we're just saying, there's like 80% of those tasks are just like AI can do them just so much better. And they're also like pretty low level tasks that not a lot of people even want to do anyway, but it's just part of your job. But the 20% stuff that you're doing that's left is high value. Like, it's high touch, it's high value. It needs a human there because we can offer a lot of value to it. And I think like we were having a conversation today on this webinar I was on, where a guy has health workers, and they have a lot of they have support staff who have to answer a lot of calls and emails and stuff from people who are like at risk or have health issues and they need response really quickly. And because they also have to deal with all the customer service inquiries and all this other stuff, these people like kind of overworked and got so many inquiries coming in that they were able to clean up like 90% of everything that came in through the door, so that when someone who actually needs help and like at risk, this person's ready, they're not tired, they're not overworked. Like, I don't know if anyone who's worked customer service jobs, like when someone comes and asks you the same question every time, the 100th person that comes in, you like almost snap at them. You're like, are you so dumb? I've told 100 people this. And I remember doing this on the phone. I used to work in a restaurant where we'd do about 90,000 customers a year in the restaurant. It was a super busy restaurant, always full. And the phones would start at 9 a.m. and I had 4 phone lines and they would all ring and I had to like balance them all. And I remember my GM coming in at once and saying, and I was going, he's like, how's it going? I was like, oh my God, these people asking the same question, they're so silly, they're so dumb. And he's like, yeah, how dare they not understand that you've had to tell the same thing 100 times? How dare those idiots not know that? And I was like, yeah, I get what you're doing here. I get what you're doing to me here. And it was a really good moment because I realized and I've learned it ever since that like that happens, right? And so in this world, he was able to like get rid of all of those silly things so that when they pick up the phone that really needs them, they're not tired and cranky. They're actually giving them such a good response. And I think that's where AI really starts to change. Like humans are doing that sort of stuff, which takes compassion and some thought process and executive function. Whereas like AI, like, of course, it could potentially do some of that stuff. But actually, as a human, I'm going to want a human to do it. It's always going to feel better if a human talks to me than if a robot does.
Correct, yeah. Like you see things pop up like I think there was a automated McDonald's store that popped up in the States, right?
Oh, really?
And it was like they automated everything. And I was thinking like you just had to keep the person there to take the order. And no one would have known, and like it wouldn't have been an issue. But they went full hog, did the whole automated, the thing, and had all this bad response. I think you still need a human element like somewhere, right? And each business is different, and where's that human element sit? Like how is there a relationship still with a human?
That's interesting because I agree. Like McDonald's is slowly taking away as many humans as they can out of their system because they're their biggest cost. But I think you're right. Like even if the illusion of a human was there, and I knew if I needed one, they would talk to me. That's enough. Like if I wouldn't need the rest. I agree.
We didn't intentionally like keep bringing up
McDonald's. I'll probably have it for lunch.
Same, it'll be on everyone's mind now. When I last met you, we had quite a cool conversation about humanoids.
Oh yeah.
I was quite keen to move into that a bit because that's another thing that seems like another world. But like from my perspective, I kind of see it evolving quite rapidly, and you already see test cases happening in warehouses and factories, which is generally where these things start. And then move into into the home environment. Like what's your thoughts overall on humanoids? And
look, I'm super excited for them to come out. So for context for people listening, last year I spent 3 weeks in Silicon Valley with a AI robotics tech startup, And I mean, they've just recently done their Series B at $165 million raise. So they've got a multi-billion-dollar valuation now, this company, Sunday Robotics. And it was just such an eye-opening experience because I knew they were coming. Like, I knew that, of course, some AI robotics would get here. But did I know that they were this close? Like, no way. Like, when I was watching this robot like make an espresso coffee or fold socks and like just do these tasks that seem like so intricate and like impossible for a robot to do, I was just like absolute godsmack. Like, I when I first saw it live, I was like, holy crap, like this is right here. Like, I'm watching this thing do it right here. And then in this particular client as well, they so, you know, probably people watching this podcast probably know, like, a lot of it's teleoperated, and these guys didn't do that. And they had this other sort of technology where they captured it all in these gloves. And so they were actually able to put force behind the actions and things like that, which teleoperators aren't able to judge force because of the, you know, they're remote controlling things. But these guys are actually humans wearing a glove, and they'll go do stuff as normal. And they had 500 of these guys across the country doing things. They'd take that data, and then the robot knew how to apply it, right? And so watching it do that was like, wow, like, okay, it can actually do all these things. This isn't that far away. You can see how they're going to scale up the data really fast. And that's why they've raised so much money, because now they're like, I think they're in a few thousand homes now with the gloves. But they are putting 50 robots in homes by the end of this year as their first beta launch. And their goal is in a year's time, they'll be up for sale. So end of next year, end of 2027, this company reckons they'll have actually for sale, to be deployed in homes, these robots that can actually do quite a lot of stuff, which, you know, some people who are in this world, you've been like, oh, well, Neo's been out to, like, they've been up for sale for ages, but Neo's still, like, launched with the, oh yeah, and when it can't do it, we'll teleoperate in, and some guy will come and do the task for you. These guys are like, nah, we're not doing that. Like, we don't need to do that. We can already do more than Neo can do. And so all the companies will fight for it. They'll all get there eventually. They'll all get there. They've all got their own way of doing it. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that made me realize, like, actually, there are a lot of jobs that will get taken in, because a lot of people joke about, like, oh, well, you know, AI is not going to take my job because it's some cleaner or something. It's like, okay, it's definitely going to take your job. But what was interesting when I was talking to this company, their goal is to make their AI like, you know, this. It's about as expensive as that.
Oh,
or like
you
your
mean
laptop.
the price? Yeah.
So they're
That's
like,
crazy,
it's
right?
not going to be too expensive to get it. And they're going to kind of be like the way that they kind of explained it was, this is a bad explanation. I'm probably doing bad branding for them right now. But they were like kind of we're like the Android versus the Apple. So 1X Neo is kind of the Apple, the real premium version of it. And they're kind of like, we're the everyday people. We come in all these different tiers. So we'll get into homes really quick. And then, so what they said is like, so actually like the premium option, the actual premium option is just, you'll have real humans. And so, like, instead of a robot who comes and cleans my house, I actually just have a real human to do it. And it was kind of a weird thing. They'll like
Wow.
the super rich will be like, no, we just
still want a human.
We just have staff.
Yeah.
Who like have that personal touch
Exactly.
and stuff. It was weird.
But it's it makes sense, right? Like, why would you buy $100,000 humanoid if you just could have a human do it, right?
Have a human do it, exactly. And just that premium level as well of service that robots will be a robot. So anyway, I'm super excited. I want one. I tried to convince them to like give us one of the 50, send it over to the US to make my coffee at the front of our office. They didn't have any of it. But like I would really, like, I'm really keen to like look into it and buy one, because I just think it could be fun.
I'm sure at some point, like after the 50, I'm sure they'll be do a deal with you, a brand deal.
I hope so.
Let me know when you get it, man. I'd love to. I haven't seen any running. I've seen one just like hanging at a expo. That's about as close as I've been. But
I think they're for people who haven't seen these humanoids do the stuff that they do, they're like babies at the moment. They're really like kind of infants trying to figure stuff out. But that, as we all know, like ChatGPT was garbage 3 years ago, and now like Claude's rebuilt my whole business. So you give these 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, because it's a bit harder with robotics because
it's physical, like learning, and
safety things too. Like you know, like these big humanoid robots, they weigh a ton, and if they lose power, the ones on legs fall over. And if they fall over and hit a kid, they'll like crush a kid because they're so heavy. The company we're with, they saw that as well, so they created they haven't got legs yet. They're on a roller base so that they don't fall over. So they're trying to do some safety stuff, but like so it'll take a bit of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be great. I think you're right. I think in the factory space and manufacturing space, they'll come out in droves because it's like the same thing over and over.
Yeah, it's repetitive processes or repetitive like things you're doing.
Yep, exactly. And you're already seeing that, like 1X and Tesla are already got like their lineup ones kind of already working almost.
Yeah.
But these general purpose autonomous robots that will come out in the public space, I think they'll take a bit of time until they're real good.
Yeah.
But I don't like in 5 years we'll all have one.
Yeah, because it's the race right now, right? Is that learning? Like how much data can you create and learn from, and then feed back into your robots? So it definitely seems to be the what the race is about at the moment.
And that's the roadblock, right? That's what they were telling us. Like quality, quantity, and diversity are the three metrics. And that's why it was quite interesting listening to him. It was like a real Edison versus Tesla type of moment in the robotics industry. The two guys that are the founders of this company were the Stanford researchers who like wrote the first two big papers on autonomous robots, and then everyone sort of took their paper and ran with it, and they were like, oh, we should drop out and start our own company. And so they did, and they're actually like rock stars in the industry. Everyone knows these guys, Tony and Chung, and so they had their own thing that they didn't want to release as a paper because they're like, no one's thinking about it this way. Everyone's thinking about this teleoperation learning style, and so actually like their ability to scale up the learning and diversity was what the reason why they've been able to raise so much money. It's like literally we're in stealth mode like 8 months ago. No one knew who they were, and they've raised hundreds of millions of dollars already. Like so everyone's like, oh wow, actually this is crazy. These guys are doing it right. Wow, that's cool. I mean I speak to so many people that are like, nah, there's no way they're coming into homes within the next few years, and I'm like, I wouldn't be so sure. They're pretty getting pretty close. I wouldn't have believed it until I saw it.
Yeah. Right.
There's no way I would have believed it.
Yeah.
And I'd seen them. I love this stuff, and I've been watching, 1X and Tesla and all these things, and I was like, oh, they're ages away.
Yeah. I think it was 1X that were doing the trial in BMW.
Yeah.
That's been an 11-month trial, and they've come out and they're trialing someone else now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, BMW's trying another company. Interesting.
And it wasn't. Some people were saying it wasn't successful, but you wouldn't go and get a whole another batch of robots if it wasn't successful, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
I think 1X is kind of interesting. We've been following their story. They go like, they've obviously got some very smart people behind them, but it does seem like a company who is ramping up on hype. And they haven't really delivered a lot of like good delivery. Yeah. So that's interesting. I don't want to judge them. It's just what I've seen.
I don't know the reasons either. Right?
Yeah. I don't know enough. Whereas like, I think the reason that this is happening is why you have to understand this will happen is that Elon Musk has $1 trillion on the line to deliver 1 million robots.
Yeah.
And there's no way that guy's not going to try his hardest. Whether you like him or not, he is going to do everything in his power to get to that million because that's what he's like. Yeah. That's just who he is. He's every step of the way throughout his business career, he's
seen it and he's gone for it.
And he's gone for it. So he wouldn't have made up that number for no reason. He might miss it, but he'll get close.
Like Meta, right? I guess they maybe went a little bit too early with some things, and you kind of want to be the first, and maybe he's trying this thing. But I think there's another long game there for him, which people probably don't see.
Yeah, it's heaps.
It's space and the bloody moon, and
he's going to own the whole universe.
Yeah. Which is
he's going to be our overlord. Him and Grok.
Actually, the last founder I had on, Arnard, he is like really deep in this space as well. Yeah. And just like he's on that same wavelength, right? He's like, mate, like, you've got no idea what's coming. Like, There's too much. For the people who are skeptical, there's too much money involved. Like technology, our ability to develop technology is only limited by how much money and resources we can put behind it. Like going to the moon is a great example, right? Like when they literally like using duct tape got to the moon, like duct tape a ship together and got there. Like that's actually like how we work as humans. Like we can figure it out. If you just dedicate enough money and resources, we'll figure it out. And the fact that there's $1 trillion on the line means there's a few $1 trillion going to go into this. If he's going to earn $1 trillion, there's going to be a few $1 trillion go into this thing just in his company, let alone all the others. And I think you can't underestimate, if you look at the history, if anyone who's a historian and like follows like the history of the world has developed through commerce.
Like it hasn't developed. Like nothing else has really been as big of a deal as commerce, and you can see it through like trade ports and trade routes and all that sort of stuff, where trade and commerce has driven everything. And if there is money just getting pumped in by the droves into Silicon Valley right now, which is like the epicenter of AI robotics, and China actually in its world. Like if you realize how much money's going in there, like the GDP of New Zealand going in it every week almost. Like, like
It's insane,
you just have to understand, like there's no way it's not going to happen. The only reason it won't happen is if it's somehow we find out it's actually physically impossible, which I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's true. So that's why I'm quite bullish on it. But I'm also excited. Like, I don't know. I'm an eternal optimist.
I think it's quite exciting. Like anyone I speak to about it, like on in terms of most of my friend group and stuff, they're like, "Oh, would you want a robot working in your house?" Or I'm like, mate, if it gives me, me and my wife 10, 20 hours a week, like, hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of time back in your life to, and if you're saying could be the price of a phone, who would not have one in their home, right?
No.
Like,
actually, what's really interesting, a very interesting thing that they told me, which I think is interesting for people to how do people buy them? Spark and 1NZ will sell them because they all have to have cellular connectivity.
Right.
They all will have to have it because it's just part of who they are and what they need their data. So you'll buy them as like a interest-free loan from your telco. And like when I was talking to the guys at Sunday, they're like, probably, like we'll probably develop network partnerships with all the telcos in the world and Starlink and everything for scale, because like they have to be able to get out into the world. Like you should be able to say to your robot, like, hey, I need you to go down to the groceries and pick up some groceries for tonight, and it needs to be able to just like walk itself down and go get it. And to do that, it's going to need cellular connectivity, and to do that, like you're going to have a SIM card or some eSIM or something inside of it. So then it just makes sense for these like telcos. They want the contract. So they're going to like, we'll get you the robot so we can sell you the data. So that's how they'll get out. Just the way that iPhones and stuff.
It's
do.
like doubling their market capacity, right? That's interesting.
Yeah, that's it, exactly right. So telcos are so keen because now they've just got twice as many customers. Yeah, because everyone has a robot.
You've got the phone and the robot. Yeah, interesting. You take it to the beach.
That's actually, I reckon, why phone companies hated hotspotting. Because remember before hotspotting came, everyone had that little data card in your laptop, so it's like a whole thing.
A little dongle.
Yeah, a little dongle. So you had 2 subscriptions, and they like for ages like tried to like limit how you could hotspot because they wanted you to have 2, and then like it became a thing in Apple. But like they would love this because that means like all these robots. There might be 1 million robots in New Zealand. That's 1 million more phone plans to sell, data plans. So like it'll like you can just already see. As soon as I say that, you're like, the commerce works out. Like,
I love that. I love it when you can see things from those different angles, right?
The commerce plays out. It doesn't matter if the technology, the technology will figure itself out, so the commerce can happen. Because money drives everything.
That's the thing, man. It's so true. Money drives everything in this world.
Yeah, it always has.
Yeah, man. Well, cool. Well, that's pretty much brings us near the end of our session, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. A lot of good conversations here, and there's a lot happening in the world. I think AI, robotics, we're not seeing it slow down. So the genie's out of the bottle now.
And you have to I need to start watching some more of your cool videos, man, so I can deep dive into that. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. But just like we've been focused on other things. But,
it is one of those things that's quite it will consume you, especially like because I know you'll get consumed by it.
I would.
And you've got a 5 month
just go down a tunnel and that'll be me.
And it will. So if you're out there in your business and you get into Claude the way I've been doing it, it will take over your life. It's so much fun.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for thanks for coming on. Good to have you on the podcast, and
cool. Cheers.
All the
thanks
best
for having
with
me.
your the next steps for you. So
cheers. Cool.
Cheers, Stanley.
Cheers, man. Awesome. See you guys.
And cut.